So now I have, when I started there before, that's in there. I'm gonna go to the picture that I already had finished. So there's my finished grid picture. So I'm gonna open that one up. And then I have my paper on here. So I'm gonna move this forward a little bit so you can see my paper. And what I'm gonna do with this is I have a ruler and I'm just gonna use the width of my ruler. You could measure it. You could go along here and do like, I would just not do an inch. I think it's gonna be too small. You could do like 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches and go across. I think it'll be much easier if you just if you use a regular kind of ruler shape like this, even if it's a little bit wider, just to use the width of your ruler and just use that as a guide. So just kind of move it down. And same thing I did. I'll make sure that you get it even each time. I don't want to get crooked. You do not want crooked lines. It'll mess up your whole picture. The key thing with this is that all of your lines have to be the same width. You can't have some thinner and some thicker. They have to all be the same. So you end up with boxes. If you do this and you end up with rectangles, you need to redo it. Or you have some rectangles and some squares, they have to all be squares. And once you have all the squares done all over, then you're gonna take it into that same kind of angling. You wanna make sure when you make the angles, you have them going that same direction that you have on your picture. So make sure you take your ruler in that same angle and then make the grid lines going this way. Okay. So you have that, so there's the grid, there's the picture. Here is my finished grid. I already have one that's all done, and it's going the same way. And now what I'm gonna do to start drawing is I'm gonna number these off. So up here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On here, I have more than 6 boxes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm only just gonna choose 6. So I'm gonna choose, let's say, there's not, I'm gonna start me here. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will just be empty space, okay? And then going down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that worked out. So that's what I have on there. And I could draw numbers on here if I wanted to, using a little line tool, draw some numbers if I want to have the same kind of grid. What I would like to start off with doing, starting up here in the upper left, and how this works, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. You can always kind of take this, zoom in. So these boxes, if this is the one box, so this box and this box correspond, and here's another one. And see right here, that's where his hairline kind of meets up. And so what I would do is that's where that corner would be. And then I use these lines and I guide across. That's gonna help me draw in the picture. Not doing any shading, not getting a ton of detail in. If I see you look down here, his ear kind of goes along this. I just think of it as lines. I did see in one video how you could even make a drawing on top of here if you want to like draw his face over it. So you can see the lines. Only thing that's hard with that, sometimes I would just sketch this, your Chromebook screens aren't super sensitive. So the drawing may be a little off, but if that kind of helps you see the lines, that's always an option too. So you can kind of see in there how I'm looking at the lines and going across. When I get to parts like around his eye, this is the part of his glasses here. His glasses come out here. I can kind of go and see where that line is. So I just want to see where things intersect. So I get them at the same proportion. That part of the rim of the glass is down here. So I'm gonna have this come out this way. And now it comes a little bit farther from his nose. And then so on. And I keep on going all the way around. Now this part of his eye that's really dark, I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I'm just gonna kind of sketch in about where his eye is gonna go. I'll be fixing that more. Like when this is all done and drawn in, we're gonna erase the grid and you'll start shading. If you start shading, it'll look more like him. This is more just trying to figure out where everything should go. We get to areas like the nose here. So if I want to change where it is, I need to make it down smaller. And then I want to take the area that I want to make bigger and go in there. If you try and move it around, it's not going to move around right. So now I get here to the nose and see the edge of his nose goes there. Those lines match up this way and so on. And see, like for his nose, how I'm just doing a few little lines, not doing a ton of detail, just kind of marking off where things are going to go. Here's his lip down here. There's his cheek, and so on. So I would keep on, I would do all of that until I get to a point that I have my drawing like this. And that was the finished one that I already did, so it would be all done. At this point, once you have it all drawn in, then you're gonna go in and you're gonna erase the grid, and then you're ready to start shading, okay? And I'll do the shading in a separate video. If this wasn't enough, there's lots of other tutorials on YouTube. You can type in like how to make a grid, how to draw with a grid, and there's lots of other resources on there. And so you are welcome to try and look at one of those if that helps you make more sense of how to do the grid, but hopefully this will help. And again, you can draw it another way if you want to. This is just one way to do it. The key thing is that you want to have a line drawing to start off with. It needs to be in proportion. You want to use up most of your paper, so it shouldn't be like this tiny little head in there. You want to make sure you make it nice and big enough. And that's it. All right, so now you're ready for, take a picture of this, attach it to the Google Classroom assignment, and then turn it in. And then you can go on to the shading one.